So in this video we're going to take a look at how to play the arch position on Inferno, and we're going to go over a couple scenarios that could take place in a match of CS on Inferno, and we'll see how you can respond to these different scenarios. We'll look at how to do it with an AWP and a rifle, we'll look at some nades you can use to help hold these positions, we'll look at rotations and some sort of different spots that you can play depending on what scenarios are occurring. So first of all, we'll go over a default as a rifler. So one default you can do is come down mid here and just jiggle this corner here. Just spot if anyone's rushing out mid, any presence, any flashes, anything that could signal another event that could happen in the map. Perhaps if they're flashing down mid a lot, that could signal a rush, and that means you need to fall back. If they're nade stacking, maybe they're nade stacking and rushing B, so you're just looking for information, just relaying that towards your team. So once you've done that, as a rifler, you might fall back towards here, and you'll probably end up jiggling this corner here, just spotting if anyone comes out mid, maybe with a Molotov out in your hands, because if they're rushing, which is one of the scenarios you're going to look at, then it's really important to have this out quick. And also you're jiggling this corner in case there's an AWPer that's going to come and peek into this angle here. Perhaps they flash over and he's going to peek in, so you don't want to be holding it out with your rifle just out. So you're going to want to jiggle this and just get information for your team. So now we'll look at a default for an AWPer. What you can do is you can come down mid here, do the same thing as you were with the jiggle peek here, but instead you're holding it further back with an AWP, and you're just seeing if anyone crosses mid, again seeing if any nades are coming out, and just getting that information. And then you can switch up and play this spot here just for a couple of seconds, see if anyone pushes here. So you're going to be holding this for about 3 seconds, hold this one here for maybe 5 seconds or so, and if you don't see anything, then fall back and then just play in this spot here and hold this. So that's the default that you can do with an AWP. So the first scenario we're going to look at is a mid rush. So either that's going to be coming down mid here, or it's going to be coming through alt mid. Maybe they have some splitting through boiler. Essentially just a fast play up mid. So if you're the rifler, then you're just jiggling this corner here. You see loads of people coming down mid, then you fall back and you're going to go jiggle this one with your Molotov out. If you then carry on seeing lots of players push up, then you're going to want to throw a Molotov here and hold and just see if they push through it, because you're going to have lots of weak players pushing through this Molotov, and they want to try and get out of the side of the Molotov. So if you've thrown it down and the range is here, they're not going to run around, and they most likely won't take the fight with you here. They're going to run around and try and get out of the molly and then start fighting you, or they're going to be doing it and running and shooting at the same time. So it's good to throw the molly down and hold just on the edge of it here and just see if anyone pushes through it. And whilst it's about to go out, then you can fall back and play a more defensive position with your team on the site. So that's what you can do with the rifle. If you've got an AWP, then it's a fairly similar situation. You're holding here, and from one of these positions here or here, you notice that's a rush. Obviously you're going to want to fall back. You can hold this here and just try and get picks, because with Inferno Arch, there's lots of places where you can it's the way it works is you can hold an angle, get a pick, fall back to the next one, get a pick, fall back to the next one, get a pick, keep falling back, and you just keep getting picks. So that's what you can do in terms of a rush. So you hold this, get a pick, fall back, go here, fall back, go here, fall back, and you can even just stay in this position here, or you can go wrap around towards library again, maybe throw a flashbang off the wall that comes out, and then peek with it. You're just trying to get as many kills as you can and just delay for as long as possible for your B rotator player to come over and help you out on the arch position. So now we're going to take a look at a slow mid take from the T side. So a slow mid take is one where perhaps they do these peeks in towards these angles here, just to see if they can get control of mid. They get an AWPer into this angle here, and they molly off the corners, and they just try and get full mid control with riflers and their AWPer, and just try and get a dominance of this area here up to sort of this area here, this whole area here. So we'll look at how you can deal with that, and two situations you could find yourself in. So one is where you're fighting for mid control, one is where you're falling back. First we'll look at fighting for mid control. So you're jiggling this spot and you realize they're trying to take mid control. If you've got someone covering you from Porch or down to the side of Porch, towards the left there, what you can do is if you've seen that someone's there with an AWP, then you can simply just do a smoke like this, I'll go through the smoke again in a second. So this one covers off mid. You want to try and throw it as far as possible. So what you're doing is you're just lining up this side of the wall with this one, and you're just aiming at this top here. It doesn't really matter from where. The whole premise is to just get as much distance on it. So you're just trying to throw it as far as possible so that it keeps going further in this direction so it lands in the middle there. So you can do that and it instantly just denies them the ability to just push up mid. And perhaps with that you just do a simple flash off the top there and just peek with it so that if anyone's in this open area here, they've got no support and you can take them out. And perhaps you can coordinate this with your teammate on Porch. If you say, I'm going to flash mid, peek with me, throw the flash, peek, and you both peek and take out anyone who's stuck in mid without any support from anyone behind the smoke. So now we're going to look at the situation where you're going to be falling back from a slow mid control. So in this situation, the reason why you'd be falling back is because you probably don't have the utility to actually fight and take mid control. So maybe you've already done this smoke and then you've carried on jiggling and you see that they try and do it again. In this situation, you're just going to want to fall back and play much more defensively because you don't have the utility to fight, and you're going to be relying on your crossfires and whatever few nades you've got. So perhaps you've got a Molotov and a flash, for example. You're going to want to rely on using this sort of utility to set up your crossfires and try and maybe flash in some players for some information to get some kills. So you might try and flash in your teammate on Porch, for example. Or you might try and molly off this area here if the round's getting late and your Porch player says that you can hear lots of people in mid. Maybe he's playing in that box there. You can hear he's saying, I can hear lots of steps in towards mid. You might molly off that again for that flash for him to peek. So just playing a more defensive style on the sites and just trying to set up crossfires and use whatever utility you've got remaining to your full advantage and just get some information and get some kills. So now we're going to take a look at a situation where they do an arch take. So an arch take is going to involve them smoking, the T side smoking off this, the Porch side here, and they're going to come around and split through arch. And it's important that you react well in this situation because once they take arch, they can cut off rotations really easily from the B site to the A site. So you need to make sure you react well. So you just want to be as safe as possible when you see the smoke. So if you're jiggling and your teammate calls that smoke's come out, you're going to most likely just want to molly it off. You don't want to go for the smoke where you come and line up here and throw and just jump through it against here and land in mid because it's too risky because your teammate can't cover you whilst you're doing that smoke. Someone could push up and kill you whilst you're doing it. So you probably going to do that molly, and that it might be a call for you to either fall back, play defensive, or maybe you carry on playing the situation here, and if you don't hear anything happening, that smoke disappears by the time your molly comes out, then you can carry on playing aggressive position. But it would probably just be safer just to fall back deeper onto the site and play a more defensive situation, because if you die, you cut off rotations for your CT team and you've got no one to trade it. So now we're going to take a look at a Porch take. So that's going to involve the T side smoking off this side, the arch side that you're at, and either wrapping around Porch or going in around Porch and splitting with balcony or something like that. So one of the things you can do in this situation is if they're going really fast and they're already rushing up Porch really quickly, then it would be a good idea to fall back. Perhaps if your teammate got to site, throw a flash for him to then go and peek behind it. Not like that, like that. Off the wall like so, and he can go and peek out with that flash. Maybe if by the time you've got back, and you think they're still in mid, you can throw a molly off here like this, and anyone on that corner there is going to get mollied, and you can follow that up with a smoke like that. Perhaps if you jiggle it and you see an AWPer, then you can throw a nade instead, and it's going to be a perfect nade. It's going to land right on them and do max damage. So that's one thing you can do as well. So you're just trying to fall back. If they're rushing up fast, you're just trying to fall back and just help your team out on the site and set up crossfires. So in the next scenario, we're going to look at a B rush that the T's do. So this is going to be more focused on rotations. So let's say you come down mid and you do the spotting, and they call that there's lots B, and you see on the minimap there's 4 people on B, down banana. Perhaps your team is just spotting for information or listening out, and they aren't actually trying to take banana control, doing the smokes, doing the mollies and nades to take control of banana. So in this situation, you want to instantly try and fall back towards the B site. You most likely won't need to smoke or molly off the middle position, because if you see 4 or 5 people on the minimap, 3 people, just if you see lots of numbers towards B, you just want to be rotating really fast. And you need to judge by what your teammates are saying. You need to listen to them. So if they're saying that they're rushing, they keep coming on site, it's definitely a B hit, and they're just rushing fast, then you want to keep going. But if they start to slow down towards B and your teammates are calling that they're slowing down, then you want to start slowly coming back, and you may want to come back towards the A site if they stop calling that's a B hit. So you just need to be listening to your teammates, and they need to be telling you exactly what's going on, whether they keep rushing or whether they're slowing down and they're just trying to take banana control. So now we're going to take a look at if it's a B take. So it's mid-round situation. It's a gun round, for example, where it's a much slower round, and you're just jiggling mid like this, and your teammate sees the CT smoke, for example, here, this one here. In that situation, and they hear flashes, they hear Molotovs, this sort of stuff. So you're not sure if it's a fake, you're not sure if it's an actual execute. So in that situation, you've got your molly out. You're most likely just going to want to either molly here or do the smoke that we looked at before, this one like this. And you just want to cut off the opportunity for anyone, so if it's a fake, to cut off the opportunity for anyone to come up arch. And this is being done by the Porch player covering the whole mid area, because he's got this mid smoke here, so no one's going to risk just walking up that, because it's just 3 kills for him. So if you've done that smoke or a molly in there, then you can start to cheat a rotate over. And again, if your teammates start calling that it doesn't seem to look like it's actually a B hit, no one's actually coming onto the site, then you can start coming back and you can carry on just jiggling this angle here. Now, if it's a B hit, but you've fallen back towards the A site, so maybe they've done a smoke towards Porch, this one over here, and you've thrown your molly and you've fallen back because you don't want to get rushed down, you don't want to cut off rotations. And we're going to look at the situation where it's a B hit. So they've done this mid control, they faked that they're going to come arch, but they're actually going to go back to B. What you can do is you can do this smoke off the top here if they start calling that it's B. And then after that smoke's down, you won't want to just walk out like that. You'll want to do a flash of it and peek with that, and maybe start rotating over towards the B site. Again, once you reach this position here, this is sort of the key area here, this lane down here. This is where you start slowing down or speeding up, and then you turn back towards the A site if it's called that it's not a B hit, or you carry on committing through towards the B site to help with the rotation. So now I'm just going to go over a couple of nades that are pretty useful as an arch player. So the first one that we've already looked at is this one here, where it really doesn't matter where you're standing. You just need to aim at this general area here, just in line with this pole, this dot, and line up with the walls like so. And you're just trying to get this smoke as far down as possible without having it go over the top to cover off mid. So that's a way to smoke mid without exposing yourself to an AWPer that's pulling the angle. It's like so. Because otherwise you'd have to flash over, wait for the flash, and then smoke it. So you do that. If you want to flash yourself into mid, that's easy. You just throw it up like that, nice and high. You won't get blinded by it because it's going to be on top of these roofs, but anyone that's down there is going to get hit by it. You don't want to do it too deep because otherwise it's not going to get anyone in mid, so you just want to throw it up like that, in that sort of area, and that should get anyone that's in mid. Another way to smoke mid off is in this, say if you're in this corner here, smoke mid off, you just come up in towards this area here and smoke like that. So perhaps you're playing in this position and you see a smoke there. To counter that, you can smoke this off to help your Porch player if he's going to take a fight with someone in mid. Perhaps he's going to flash up here and he's going to take the fight. It means that no one in this area here can contest him and support anyone that's in this area here trying to take the fight with your Porch player. So that's another smoke you can do. Also, you can come back towards this area here and just, I like to aim at this part here. So if you see how these 2 wires cast a shadow on here, I aim at this top one here. And this is a way to flash yourself into mid, like so. And you can peek anyone who's in mid, like that. So say if they mollied you out, then, or say if you're just holding this position here and you hear a molly come in, then you can flash with that and peek with it as the molly's coming into yours or corner if they clear out that corner. So another flash that we can look at is one that Fur does. This is where you're just listening, you're just standing here and just listening if anyone's pushing up arch. And what you're doing is you're aiming at the left of this flower pot here. Yeah, that was right. So you aim there, bounces off the top there, and you peek with it, and it's a perfect flash up there. So it's just in this corner here, like that, and it bounces up like that. So anyone coming around arch is getting blinded by that. So let's say you're back in this position here. So either you could be with an AWP, or you could be with a rifle. We're going to look at some nades for down here. So one of the nades you can do that we've looked at is this one here, where you bounce it off this wall. A lot of them involve this wall here, because it's got a perfect angle down in towards this this angle here that people may play with an AWP or just hold with an AK. So that's a good one there. You can do a molly there, like that, and you can also follow it up with a smoke as well. And it'll actually land right in the middle and be a perfect smoke on porch side, on arch side, and you can actually push with it. Maybe you come up here and you play in this corner here. Perhaps you hold with your nade out and wait for it to distinguish. And you throw your flash as it goes, and you peek with it as the smoke fades away. Let's say if you want to flash yourself out to peek arch. There's a couple ways to do this. There's not the old way of like throwing it and having it bounce off this and come over. I've tried looking for ways to do it where it's more of a better pop flash. I thought about throwing it like that, throwing it like that off the top of that roof. Like that, so it bounces off like that and you can peek, but you have to come too far back to do that. So I think this is the best way, is just to throw one up behind you and just peek with it. And anyone that's facing you and wants to take the fight is going to be blind, so you have the advantage of not being blind, and then they might be turning away, or they'll be blind from the flash. What you can also do from this position is there's a couple of flashes you can do to help your teammate out if he wants to peek porch side. So if you just stand still, so you don't need to crouch or anything, you just stand and you aim just at this sort of height here and throw a flash. That's a pretty decent pop flash for any position. Anyone who's in that sort of position down porch who's holding the angle. So I'll stand here. So yeah, if they're in any of these spots here, they're going to get blinded unless they're perfectly behind the pole, which is fairly unlikely. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you enjoy this sort of content, subscribe to see more in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.